This is the Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Loliam Camara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. As Muslims around the world observe Yawm al-Ashura, the 10th day of Muharram, with prayers, reflection, and communal supplications, commemorating one of the most significant days in the Islamic, we visited the Taqwa Mosque in Kanifing to speak to some worshippers. We hear what happened when the Trade Ministry, in collaboration with the International Labour Organization, hosted a 2-day review and formulation of the ILO Decent Work Country Program for 2017 to 2023 for the Gambia. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, on Thursday signed a memorandum of understanding with its Senegalese counterpart, ARTP, to strengthen cooperation as both countries confront increasing connected challenges in telecommunications, postal services, and the digital economy. And in international news, we report on the International Day of Seafarer, which falls on the 25th June annually. And in sports news, there was plenty of drama on the last day of the GFF First Division as Fortune FC went for the title and Steve Biko FC fought to stave off relegation. Those were the headlines. Coming up next is the news in detail. Muslims around the world today observed Yawm al-Ashura, the 10th day of Muharram, with prayers, reflection, and communal supplications, commemorating one of the most significant days in the Islamic calendar. Here in the Gambia, Ma'am Nabuka was at the Taqwa Mosque in Kanifing, and she filed this report.
Observed annually on the 10th day of Muharram, the first month of the Islamic lunar calendar, Ashura brings worshippers together in prayer and reflection, commemorating profound lessons of faith, perseverance, and divine deliverance through supplications and the remembrance of Allah. Yawm al-Ashura commemorates the day when Prophet Musa and the children of Israel were delivered from the oppression of Pharaoh through the miraculous parting of the Red Sea. It also serves as a solemn remembrance of the sacrifice of Imam Hussein ibn Ali, the grandson of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was martyred during the Battle of Karbala, an event that continues to symbolize courage, justice, and steadfastness in the face of oppression. Imam Usman Jah, who delivered the sermon at Taqwa Mosque, reminded worshippers that both historical events offer timeless lessons on upholding justice, remaining steadfast in faith during times of hardship, and defending the vulnerable. He emphasized that these narratives continue to serve as a moral guide for Muslims and humanity at large. The Imam also highlighted the spiritual significance of attending congregational prayers.
As we enter the Islamic New Year, this prayer is an invitation to open our hearts to Allah and ask for peace and longevity in the years ahead. It is especially vital now as we approach the rainy season, which is critical to our livelihoods, and an election year which is usually quite intense. Everyone's participation is important as we collectively pray for Allah's peace, protection, and abundance to guide and sustain us during these times.
For many in attendance, the day was marked by voluntary fasting on the day before, the day of, and the day after Ashura, a practice strongly encouraged during Muharram. Islamic tradition records that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam recommended fasting on these days as an act of worship and supplication. Ahmad Drame, an attendee, urged the Muslim Ummah to honor this day.
We have learned that observing this voluntary fast can lead to the forgiveness of a year's worth of sins, making it a valuable opportunity for every Muslim. Unfortunately, many people overlook its significance today. I urge everyone not to take these blessed days lightly. Cherish and honor them, for they are a source of immense spiritual rewards and blessings that we cannot afford to miss.
For attendees like Tida Barrow, The opportunity to participate in the prayers is invaluable.
Our greatest blessing is simply being here to witness this day. A deep understanding of our religion and its history opens doors to endless blessings. Seeing so many who are sick or bedridden reminds me to be profoundly grateful just to stand here with my family. I pray for continued peace and blessings for everyone.
The event concluded peacefully, leaving worshippers with a renewed sense of faith, spiritual fulfillment, and a shared commitment to fostering unity, peace, and compassion within the Muslim community. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, in collaboration with the International Labour Organization, ILO, Dakar office, has concluded a two-day review and formulation of the ILO Decent Work Country Program for the Gambia for 2017-2023. Babukar Sise reports.
The exercise brought together key stakeholders to assess progress, identify challenges, chart the way forward for promoting decent work and sustainable employment in the Gambia. The Decent Work Country Program serves as a strategic framework that guides national efforts to create productive employment opportunities, strengthen labor rights, expand social protection, and promote social dialogue. It aligns national development priorities with international labor standards and the broader goal for sustainable economic growth. Keba Masane Sise is the chairman of the Gambia Trade Union Bureau.
Our economy grew by 6% last year. Yet, growth alone has not given our people decent jobs. With informality at 81% and reaching about 84% among our young people, too much of work available is unproductive, unstable, and undeclared. Our labor force has grown to roughly 675,000, and every year thousands of young Gambians join it. We therefore ask this program make decent work and not merely numbers of jobs.
Teresa S. Jara, Director of Operations and Membership at the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry and representative of the Employers Association, delivered remarks from the employer's perspective.
We would like to see particular attention given to the following areas. First, promoting productive employment and enterprise development, especially for young people, women, and small businesses. Second, strengthening skills development systems and ensuring that training programs respond to labor market needs and private sector demand. Third, creating an enabling business environment that supports investment, productivity, innovation, and formalization of enterprises. Fourth, strengthen labor market information systems to improve planning, workforce development, and policy formulation.
Samira Dawood is the ILO Director for West Africa, while Mamadi Damfa, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, represented the Minister of Trade at the event.
The future Decent Work Country program should be fully aligned with the national development priorities of the country and with the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework. This alignment will allow the ILO to contribute more effectively to the collective efforts of the United Nations system while preserving the specific value of its tripartite mandate.
Today's event is an opportunity to strengthen our collective resolve and to translate commitments into concrete actions that improve the lives and livelihood of ordinary Gambians.
Sukai Sow of the Department of Labor and Musa Mane, Assistant Commissioner at the Expatriate Quota Secretariat of the Gambia Immigration Department, were among the stakeholders who participated in the formulation of the ILO Decent Work Country Program.
We are currently focusing on decent work country programs in the country, and then we have discussed labor migration, social dialogue, worst forms of child labor, and forced labor in the Gambia. So we need to have these legal frameworks in the country to encourage decent work programs.
Anywhere you talk about migration, that's immigration should take the lead. But this one is labor migration, is between the Ministry of Trade, Labour Department and Immigration. Because you cannot come to the Gambia as a non-Gambian where immigration did not see you. We must see you, give you a residential permit, allow you to stay in the country and allow you to work. So that's why immigration come in.
The outcome of the review will help shape policies and interventions geared towards creating more inclusive, resilient and sustainable employment opportunities for Gambians. Babukar Sise, QTV News.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority PURA on Thursday signed a Memorandum of Understanding with its Senegalese counterpart, ARTP. The agreement aims to strengthen cooperation as both countries confront increasingly connected challenges in telecommunications, postal services and the digital economy. Usman Jata reports.
Regulators are facing increasingly complex cross-border challenges driven by digital transformation. Issues like roaming, spectrum management, cybersecurity, consumer protection, e-commerce and digital services require cooperation rather than isolated action, especially for the Gambia and Senegal, where cross-border movement for trade, work and family is constant. The Memorandum of Understanding brings together PURA and Senegal's ARTP to strengthen institutional capacity and develop coordinated responses to common regulatory concerns. Addressing the signing ceremony, Njogu Elba, Director General of PURA, outlined the key areas covered by the agreement.
This MOU establishes a structured framework for collaboration between our two institutions in a wide range of regulatory areas, including electronic communications, postal and courier services, spectrum management, consumer protection, economic regulation, licensing and authorization frameworks, cybersecurity, institutional development, and capacity building.
PURA officials say the partnership comes at a crucial time as it continues to strengthen its regulatory framework and modernize its oversight of electronic communications and postal services. For consumers and businesses on both sides of the border, the agreement could help create a more coordinated approach to issues that affect everyday life, from mobile connectivity and roaming to the safety and reliability of digital services. Tahiru Cham, ARTP's Director General, says the partnership reflects the close ties between the two countries.
Le Sénégal et la Gambie entretiennent des relations historiques.
Our two people are united by geography, history, culture, family ties, and a shared vision of development. In a context marked by the rapid acceleration of digital transformation and the emergence of new regulatory challenges, cooperation between our two institutions appears more necessary than ever. The Memorandum of Understanding we are signing today reflects our shared commitment to exchange experiences, strengthen our capacities, and promote concrete initiatives for the benefit of our people.
Under the agreement, PURA says the two institutions will organize staff visits, professional exchanges and study tours, creating opportunities for regulators to learn directly from each other's experience. Dr. Ismaila Cisse, Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, witnessed the signing ceremony.
Regulatory authorities are increasingly called upon to create enabling environments that promote innovation, investment, competition, consumer protection, and universal access to services. This responsibility cannot be discharged effectively in isolation.
A key outcome of the agreement is the establishment of the PURA-ARTP Regulatory Cooperation Forum. The forum will serve as the principal platform for coordinating, monitoring and reviewing cooperation activities between the two institutions. The agreement underscores that the Gambia and Senegal are bound by far more than geography. They are united by a common ambition for economic growth, stronger regional integration and sustainable development. Osman Jata, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more national and sports news stories. Do stay tuned. Welcome back, and this is Qtv News. I am Loliam Camara. Here are the rest of tonight's stories. The Student Revolving Loan Scheme, SRLS, convened a validation workshop on Tuesday to review and validate its 2026-2030 strategic plan and loan policy. The documents are designed to guide the institution's future direction, operational framework, and long-term sustainability. Jacqueline Coley gives us the rest of that story.
For many young Gambians, the dream of earning a university degree or obtaining higher education often collides with a harsh reality, namely, the inability to afford it. While talent and determination are abundant, access to affordable financing remains a major obstacle, leaving many students, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds, struggling to pursue higher education. As part of initiatives to addressing this challenge, the Student Revolving Loan Scheme, which was established through an Act of Parliament in January 2026, under the oversight of the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, is dedicated to expanding equitable access to higher and tertiary education. Here is Professor Pierre Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education.
Students from disadvantaged backgrounds and students and other students have been asked out of lecture halls simply because they could not pay their tuition fees. Parents and guardians roamed villages and towns to secure short-term loans with high interest costs. With the advent of this scheme, students can directly apply for a loan. The government, through my ministry, is demonstrating that one does not need to come from a privileged background to gain access to higher and tertiary education.
Professor Gomez highlighted the importance of investing in such schemes.
Let us bear in mind that financing today's students is building the future of the Gambia. The scheme has been established to serve as a sustainable source of financing students' attainment of tertiary and higher education in the Gambia.
Ernest Ayubi is the chairperson of the governing board of the Student Revolving Loan Scheme.
The documents to be discussed today are all-inclusive and comprehensive, taking into consideration all strata of Gambian society. The strategy has benefited from the inputs of various stakeholders across the length and breadth of this country.
The new strategic plan and loan policy are expected to strengthen the institution's ability to support more students and contribute to the country's human capital development over the next 5 years. Reporting for Qtv News, I am Jacqueline Coley.
Next up is international news. June 25th is the International Day of the Seafarer, a day dedicated to recognizing the men and women whose work at sea sustains global trade and keeps supply chains running across continents. Juldenjai reports.
The International Day of the Seafarer is observed annually following its adoption by member states of the International Maritime Organization. This year's theme highlights the sacrifices made by seafarers who spend months away from home transporting goods that support economies and communities around the world. More than 80% of global trade is carried by sea, making seafarers an indispensable part of international commerce. In his message marking the occasion, International Maritime Organization Secretary General Arsenio Dominguez pays tribute to seafarers for their commitment and service.
Behind everything we rely on, from food, fuel, medicine, and everyday goods, are people working at sea, often far from home and family. This year's theme, Carrying the World Trade, Carrying the Risks, feels especially significant. Across the world, too many seafarers are sailing through areas affected by conflict and geopolitical tension. Many face long periods at sea, uncertainty about when they will return home, and limited communications with their families, all while operating in dangerous waters. Seafarers should never become unintended victims of wider geopolitical conflict.
Secretary General Dominguez says seafarers continue to work in demanding environments and calls for greater recognition for their contribution to the movement of goods and the functioning of the global economy.
Whether in the Red Sea, the Black Sea, the Strait of Hormuz, or other challenging regions, we must remember that every ship carries more than cargo. It carries people. People with families waiting for them at home, spending long months at sea in isolation, fatigue, and the stress of operating in unpredictable conditions while continuing to deliver the goods, energy, and supplies that the whole world rely upon. To all seafarers, thank you. It may not always seem like that, but let me reiterate that your safety and welfare remain our highest priority.
The observance also draws attention to the safety, welfare and rights of seafarers while encouraging governments and industry stakeholders to strengthen support for those working at sea. For the Gambia, maritime transport remains a key link to international markets, underscoring the importance of the people who keep vessels operating and cargo moving. As the world commemorates the day, renewed attention is being placed on ensuring that seafarers receive the protection, respect and support they deserve. Reporting for QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
And finally, we have some sports news. The GFF 4th Division League final day of the season game between title-chasing Fortune FC and relegation-threatened Steve Biko provided plenty of dramatic moments. These ranged from a controversial penalty to a coach urging his players to abandon the game in protest at a refereeing decision. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga caught the action, and this is his report.
Fortune FC were awarded a contentious penalty in the 85th minute of their final day of the season league decider for them against Steve Biko, a relegation-threatened team at the time of the game. What appeared to be a slight tug of the jersey from behind on an FC Fortune player by Biko's Tijan Jete was awarded as a penalty by referee Modu Ba. Salifu Koli converted the spot kick to give Fortune the lead and a goal that would prove to be the winner. Despite the victory, Fortune fell short of winning the league by a point to Medina United, who scored in added time against Gambia Ports Authority to confirm their status as 2026 league champions by a single point after 30 games, at the end of what proved to be a very tight title race. Despite the loss to Medina, Gambia Ports Authority held on to third place. The penalty decision infuriated Steve Biko's bench, with their coach Adnan Musa telling his players to abandon the game in protest, knowing a defeat would confirm his team's relegation to the second division. After a 7-minute melee, after the penalty award, some officials of the Steve Biko bench pleaded with the players to resume playing. After the resumption of play, Steve Biko pushed for an equalizer, although only a victory would have given them a chance of avoiding relegation, and nearly scored, but Fortune defended their lead. Both teams were dejected at the full-time whistle. Fortune for losing the league by a point, while Steve Biko were visibly furious for conceding a penalty they claim wasn't legitimate, contributing to their relegation. This is how Adnan Musa, coach of Steve Biko, and Jane Juve, coach of Fortune FC, reacted to the result.
Never a decisive game that's supposed to relegate a team, that's supposed to give a team a trophy. You are giving that kind of penalty. Come on. Fortune, they played really well, I agree, but they're supposed to deserve the goal. They're supposed to score a clean goal. There is nothing I can do about it. But that kind of penalty, could you imagine? I will prepare the clip, I will send it to them for them to see.
We played our part. This is the 5th game we won in a row. So that shows that we are consistent and also going for the title. So if at all we lose it this way, it's very sad. But nonetheless.
In the final analysis, Biko finished last out of 16 teams on 30 points, 2 points behind Samga FC, and 3 points behind Hawks FC and TMT Football Academy. As such, even a victory in this match could have left Steve Biko in the relegation zone. For champions Medina FC, this was their first league title, a year after promotion to the first division, become the first club to clinch the title in their first year after getting promoted. Mamudu Gajaga, Qtv News.
Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. As Muslims around the world observe Yawm al-Ashura, the 10th day of Muharram, with prayers, reflection and communal supplications commemorating one of the most significant days in the Islamic calendar, we visited the Taqwa Mosque in Kanifing to speak to some worshippers. We hear what happened when the Trade Ministry, in collaboration with the International Labour Organization, hosted a 2-day review and formulation of the ILO Decent Work Country Program for 2027 or 2017 to 2023 for the Gambia. The Gambia's Public Utility Regulatory Authority, PURA, on Thursday signed a Memorandum of Understanding with its Senegalese counterpart, ARTP, to strengthen cooperation as both countries confront increasingly connected challenges in telecommunications, postal services and the digital economy. And in international news, we reported on the International Day of the Seafarer, which falls on the 25th of June annually. And in sports news, we reported on the drama on the last day of the GFF First Division as Fortune FC went for the title and Steve Biko FC fought to stave off relegation. That's all we have for you in tonight's news bulletin. Join us again tomorrow 8 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and have a good night.